I'm sorry to say it doesn't look good, Gilly. We did everything we could. Or felt like doing.
We all like a good brawl or a little drama. Be honest with yourself. You might live a life like a pacifist Buddhist monk, but regardless, a little brawl is still interesting to watch or hear about. So here's a few TV shows that were disrupted by behind-the-scenes feuds that you'll definitely want to hear about. All you have to do is tap on the thumbs up button, subscribe, then ring the notification bell. Why Aunt Viv of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air suddenly vanished. Everyone who has seen one episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air has surely become a fan. This TV show still stirs of laughable moments, like Carlton's nerdy dance to Hilary Banks' incredible ability to the most adorable rich airhead. However, most people don't really know why the original Aunt Viv, played by Janet Hubert, suddenly disappeared in the beginning of the fourth show and was replaced by Daphne Maxwell Reid. Well, actually, it spawned from a spat that erupted between Hubert and Smith. The official line was that Hubert breached her contract by getting pregnant. However, off-screen fights occurred often enough for all members of the cast to add their 2 cents in on the dispute. Dan Harmon rips into Chevy Chase and Community gets canceled. In 2012, Dan Harmon, the celebrated creator, head writer, and showrunner of NBC's cult comedy Community, was terminated from his duties. The whole thing started because Dan Harmon rocketed insults at Chevy Chase, who also has a reputation of being difficult to work with. The verbal assault occurred at the show's wrap party in front of all their colleagues. Chevy reportedly even had his wife and daughter with him at the time, which only intensified the embarrassment. Chevy then returned the favor to Dan Harmon by leaving an eruption of curses and insults via voicemail, and you'd better believe that the message was leaked to the media. This drama culminated when Chase walked off the set on the last day of shooting, so they were unable to film certain scenes. For that point, Dan Harmon was terminated during the end of the 3rd season, and Chevy Chase still went on to quit in the beginning of the 4th season. Although Dan Harmon returned to the show in the 5th season, it was canceled shortly after, allowed to go back on air, but only to be canceled again shortly after. Catfights and cliques on the set of Charmed. It was a great show about sisterhood and fantasy, but life on the set of Charmed was far from magic. Actually, rumors of fights between Shannon Doherty and co-star Alyssa Milano plagued the production for years, and only intensified when Doherty unceremoniously left after the 3rd season. According to Milano, being on the show was quite like being back in high school with all the drama. And just like in high school, there were cliques that stuck together. Doherty and co-star Holly Marie Combs had actually been best friends for years before getting cast as sisters on Charmed. Finally, by the end of the 3rd season, Doherty's character was killed off, making the powerful trio of witches into a less powerful dynamic duo. Fortunately, the writers were able to recover their story by having the Charmed ones find their long-lost half-sister, who was played by the gorgeous Rose McGowan. The drama behind the drama of Grey's Anatomy. One of the most well-publicized cast meltdowns in television history goes to Grey's Anatomy and the drama that took place behind the scenes. This drama was better than the touching plots of the show itself. Isaiah Washington and Patrick Dempsey almost came to blows on the set, and during the heat of the moment, Washington had used a derogatory term against fellow cast member T.R. Knight, who actually came out as gay shortly thereafter. And although this incident occurred in 2007, where cancel culture wasn't so prevalent, Washington's career took a swan dive regardless. To try to make amends, he apologized to the LGBT community, but most thought his apology wasn't genuine. So in June of 2007, ABC announced that they would not be renewing his contract, and one of the show's most popular characters was banished in the 3rd season. In the next episode of drama behind the scenes of Grey's Anatomy, we have Katherine Heigl, who also wins the Backstage Bad Behavior Diva Award. She made it abundantly clear that she wanted off the show after her film career showed signs of taking off. And can you blame her? She was one of the FHM's 100 sexiest women in the world. But her colleagues found her intolerable, as she harshly criticized the show publicly, stating that she didn't submit her name for Emmy consideration in 2008 because she didn't think the material she was given was worthy. The epitome of diva behavior on Beverly Hills 90210. Shannon Doherty hasn't had a smooth ride on any of the shows she's been on, with at least 2 of them ending with major drama. There clearly seems to be a pattern and a trace to judge who's mostly at fault. However, to be fair and square and consider all variables, we're all willing to bet our bottom dollar that a lot of the problems arise when a group of uppity teenage actresses all work together. So here's the backseat friction that you don't want. Cast members have referred to Shannon Doherty as having a lot of opinions, which is probably the nicest way to say arrogant diva who wants everything her way. Doherty was booted from the show, with her character Brenda Walsh unceremoniously shipped off to the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts in London. At the time, they left her departure open-ended, so that the character could come back after a season or 2 if tensions dissipated. But it was not to be. Brenda was never seen on the show again, and even though she did appear on Beverly Hills 90210's spin-off show Melrose Place, Shannon Doherty's reputation as a difficult person to work with was practically set in stone. Teenage Glee drama. As mentioned in the previous entry, when a group of uppity teenage actors all work together, drama is definitely a side effect. So, no one is really surprised to learn that a television show about a high school glee club, basically the epicenter for teenage hormones and infighting, would have its share of behind-the-scenes drama. According to reports, as soon as the show became popular, tension between stars Lea Michele and Naya Rivera ignited, and if you would have made a bet, you would have won. Lea Michele often came off as the type of person who could easily turn into a diva, and Rivera seems like the sort who tells people exactly what she thinks of them. So their personalities were destined to clash, albeit there was never a public announcement about their beef. Where there was smoke, there's fire, and rumors about their spats have been around for years. And when it comes to a show like Glee, it's very surprising that other rumors of major drama between Glee actors was not blasted on social media. Feeling the pains behind the scenes of growing pains. Under the veneer of a perfect American family, a hotbed of unnecessary controversy quickly developed soon after Kirk Cameron became pious and holier than thou. All of a sudden, Kirk Cameron didn't feel morally comfortable with some of the storylines the show was pursuing, and he used his position of power to demand that he could oversee decisions of content for the show. First of all, he totally disagreed with actress Julie McCullough's previous lifestyle of being the centerfold of Playboy magazine. He despised this so much that he pushed for her termination, regardless of the fact that her role was quite essential as the fiancée of his character. Of course, his efforts caused a rift among the cast and enraged show producers. Since the producers didn't share his convictions, Kirk Cameron accused the producers of being pornographers. This in turn prompted 3 of the producers to quit in protest. Cameron later apologized to the cast for his tyrannical behavior. Yet, he never apologized to Julie McCullough, and as an end result, his newfound religious beliefs and authority had a profound impact on the show in its later seasons. That meant, in the later episodes, all story elements that seemed too adult or racy were cut out. As a matter of fact, even mild innuendos or the merest suggestion of premarital sex was completely prohibited. Saturday night backstage brawls on Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night Live is a show that's been on the air for over 46 seasons. That's right, 46 years of live entertainment with a large ensemble cast of big stars and a new celebrity host every week. So it was inevitable that backstage brawls would ensue in one way or the other. Back when the show was young, there was the legendary standoff between Chevy Chase and Bill Murray. And on Howard Stern's show, Chevy Chase was able to go into detail about the quarrel. Chevy left the show at its peak to pursue a film career. And when he came back to host for the first time since leaving, there was understandable a little bit of tension between him and his jilted ex-cast. The 2 actors came to blows backstage, in what Murray recalls as a very don't touch my face kind of fight, while Chevy Chase described it as a fight where he wanted to pound Murray's face while Murray was trying to scratch him. Which of these stories shocked you the most? And which of them seemed quite obvious? Be sure to make your voice heard by leaving your comments down below. Then tap that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already, and jingle that notification bell.